that I also went through. And this is the advice that I would tell my younger self, and I would tell you right now that it all shall pass. No, it's hard, but I know that it's not abnormal to want to make the people in your life happy, or the people around you happy, or your partner happy.
But you do know that when you make other people happy, and they do not reciprocate that love back, it tends to drain you, which makes you bitter sometimes.
A lot of people, once they divorce, or once they have left a partner, they tend to go into a phase. This phase in it is a self-care journey, a self-discovery journey on my way to glowing up. And this could also mean from the male gender and the female gender. Why do you think that people often go into these self-care journeys, a glowing journey, after a separation from a loved one, after a separation from a friend? Why do you think that is so? It is because self-care is the antidote to people-pleasing. The reason why you keep people-pleasing, Habibti, and the reason why you keep repeating it over and over again, do not beat yourself. Do not be hard on yourself. It is because it is stemmed from a past life. It is stemmed from the time you were young. It normally originates from how you were with your parents. It normally originates from how you were with your siblings. Assalamu alaikum, Habibtis. Welcome back to another one. All right, we are about to make this into a podcast, but lovely that you're back. If you're new here, please take a chill pill and have a cup of tea. All right, sit down. I know that if you are listening to this, if you are watching this, you probably are going through a lot. You probably are going through the most right now. I know it's hard. I know you probably still have tissues in your hand. You are probably still crying, wondering, what did I do wrong? What have I done again this time? Why isn't this relationships working? What have I done? What could I have done better, or what could I have done apart from what I did? If I had done better with this, would I have been here? I know. Those are the questions I asked myself also. And those are the questions a lot of women are asking themselves. But let me tell you something, it's gonna get better. And you're not the only one in this. I know the pain. I've been there. I am here with you. Let's hold hands. At the end of the day, you need to put yourself first. At the end of the day, you need to see what you did. You need to introspect. It will not do you any good if you look at the actions of the other person. Because I do not want to sit here in this video and tell you a whole lot of things that you have done wrong, because I also wouldn't like that advice from anybody that comes into my life telling me that you could have done this right, you could have done this right. Normally, being a people pleaser comes from your past. Being a people pleaser comes from the way your parents handled you. Especially for us females, it comes from the way your mother handled you. It comes from the way your father handled you. So one thing that I would say is that this phase shall pass. And the other thing that I would say is that you need to look forward into finding yourself. It only comes when you find yourself, when you love yourself, when you date yourself, when you get to know who you are, then you stop people pleasing. Then you won't look for validations from other people. One thing that I would say personally is that you need to go on the self-care journey. Self-care is an antidote to people pleasing. You need to start learning who you are. Do you even know your favorite color? Do you even know what you love? If I had to ask you now, what gift can I give you on a normal day, not on your birthday? What gift can I give you that you would appreciate? If I would say in an Islamic version, I would say how I was diverted from people pleasing. I am a self-healed people pleaser. I would say that the Quran has really taught me a lot. My salah has taught me a lot. Especially, you need to read on the powerful antidotes out there for women. You need to empower yourself on who you are. Some of us people please because we do not have self-worth. We do not know what is our worth in this dunya. We do not position ourselves as goddesses, who we are. You are a goddess, Hariti, and let nobody tell you otherwise. The other thing that I will say is that if you are in a relationship, a relationship that demands you to always give and doesn't give back is a very toxic relationship. One thing that you would identify in a relationship that you are the one that is people pleasing is that at the end of the day, you are always giving and the partner is not reciprocating this. Let me tell you something about a healthy relationship, Habibti. A healthy relationship will not need you to give a lot. Although people pleasers, I know myself, people pleasers are always those people that give, but we don't necessarily want the same thing in return. People pleasers don't always want, okay, for example, if this is how I people please, I clean the house, I get your food ready, everything is properly done. I wouldn't want you to do the same thing that I do. That's how people pleasers are. I don't know. You tell me. I would want you to do something different. But then in a toxic relationship, you will not get that. In a healthy relationship, you will get the other partner also striving to make you happy. Also, when it comes to people pleasing with friends, I have had a lot of that in my life, in my growing years, in my high school years. I've been through the trenches with friends. I've been through a lot when it comes to friends. So I think that I'm in a position to come here and actually tell you about this, and you need to be listening, Mariam, okay? The thing is, let me tell you something about friends. I've been there where friends want you to be always giving. Friends always want you to be always present. When they are available, that's only when they sort you out. When they need like a date, when they need like a friend get together, when they have the time to be with you, that's when they sort you out. That's when they want to be with you. But that's not how a friendship is, all right? Some friends be doing disgusting things out here. Some friends be doing things to you and they be wanting you to be like amnesia or something and forget. All right. There's other friends, there's this type of friends that you know what, they want you to do something. If you make boundaries and you are not certain on those boundaries, you don't sit on those boundaries, they tend to bring things from the past. All right. They be like, okay, this is what I did for you, blah 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 blah. Let me tell you something. You do not get emotional about it. Nobody deserves your tears, especially undeserving friends, and we have a lot of them in this world. Let me tell you something about crowds. You can never get 3 or 4 friends. There can only be 1 friend or 2. If there's more than 3, it's a crowd, and it will be very disgusting. One thing about me is that I used to have friends that, you know what, I'm the type of person that I don't necessarily like to go out. I'm an introvert in my own mode, in my own bubble. But then you get friends that, you know, they want to go out, so they push you to go out. They push you to, you know, be there. They push you to do whatever they want. And if you don't do it, it turns into a hurricane. That is a toxic relationship, and I wouldn't want you to be there. One thing that I've learned in the past is to regulate myself. When you are in a situation where you can't set your boundaries, you are confused, everything is coming from each part, and you feel like, you know what, if I do this, I'll be sabotaging these people, I'll be showing them that, you know what, I don't love them. If you are in a situation where, you know what, your friends demand you to be who you are not, all right, and your friends demand you to be at a certain place, and you do not want to be there, like wholeheartedly, you do not want to be there, then you shouldn't be in those rooms. You shouldn't be in those rooms that don't celebrate you. First of all, you shouldn't be in the room that don't empower you. All right. You should be your bubbly self all the time. I know, okay, I know that I've been there. I've been into spaces and with friends that do not want me to be who I am. They want me to be a certain type of thing, an entity, which they want. They want to model me into something that they feel is right and not something that I am. All right. That is the reason why I have cut up a lot of friends. Okay. I've exiled a lot of friends, like literally silently too, because I'm not the type of person I'm going to sit there and start discussing about how you make me feel, because at the end of the day, I feel like we are all grown-ups and you should be able to explain your behavior. You should be able to know what you are doing to another person. You should be out here hurting people. You had a healthy upbringing. If you have a healthy, self-discovery journey, if you are if you are like a human person, you would know that it's inhumane to try to get someone to be what they're not. All right. You would know that it's human to try to let somebody express themselves if they are with us. You will love who they are. You will celebrate who they are. You will empower and you will motivate them. All right. Where you are very confused. You're like, I don't know how to set boundaries. Boundaries are too hard for me. I know all of us have been there. But let me tell you something. Setting boundaries is your friend. Okay. You can never go wrong with setting boundaries. There's a lot of rude people out there. There's a lot of intrusive people out there. People think they own your life. Okay. Even for relatives, sometimes you need to set boundaries. Come on. You are a growing person. You are a growing woman. You are growing into a better you. And you cannot be in environments where you cannot grow. You cannot be in an environment where it's not conducive for you to fertile and grow and be a feminine woman that you want to be in the future, right? You got to put boundaries. And how I do this is that I have a 3 breathing technique where I breathe. If I feel stressed, because I'm way out of our box, we tend to get anxiety. This is where anxiety comes from, okay? Because you are doing things, you are uncomfortable, all right? Yeah, you need to breathe and set those boundaries and be firm on them. If you have made it this far, I love you, nakupenda. All right, sis, Habibti. Let me tell you something, baby. You are worthy, okay? You are needed in this world. That's why you are still here. You are still watching this. What you're going to do in the future, people are going to be so awestruck. I need you to breathe and breathe into the woman that you are. See you next time. Bye.